Hey guys, it's Joy here, and today we are doing a Q&A video because it is officially back to school time. So I wanted to launch my back to school series with a Q&A video. So I did it via social media. So if you're not following me and you don't want to miss the next Q&A, make sure you follow me at joywade_ or on Snapchat at joywade. So I have like almost 50 questions, so we're gonna try to get through as many as possible. Ones that I've already answered before in previous Q&As I might skip, or duplicate questions I'll also skip. So let's get started. Chell LaBelle asked on Snapchat, what's the hardest part about USC, and do you still get homework that is graded, or is it all papers and tests? So as far as like homework and like tests, that depends on the class. Every professor decides how much they want to test you and how they want to grade you. The hardest part about USC is the semester does really pick up, especially around midterms and finals time. So it can be a little bit stressful to keep track, especially if you're in a lot of classes. But I think that's probably the only like hard part, and I feel like that's at every college. So just know that midterms and finals are probably the hardest part of the school year. Dre Dreams says, what was the hardest thing about moving across the country for college, and what was the most essential thing you brought with you? Also, what helped you stay focused? So the hardest part about moving across the country is packing and unpacking and then packing to move out and to move in. So I think that's the hardest part. Also, as a freshman, you're gonna get homesick no matter where you're from. But especially living so far, if I miss friends from home or miss family, it wasn't convenient to go back home. So, you know. What was the most essential thing I brought with me? My Bluetooth speaker. If you don't have a Bluetooth speaker, maybe get one. If you're into music like that, I listen to music all the time, and sometimes you just don't want to have your headphones, or you'll go somewhere with your friends like the beach, if you live near the beach, or like to a park or something, and you want to listen to music collectively. So a nice Bluetooth speaker would be great. Hip Nandez said, how hard was it to make friends, or was the pace of a college class difficult to keep up with even though you took AP classes in high school? So it's not hard to make friends as a freshman because usually your school has some type of programming where everyone has to go to different events on campus. That's usually like the first week of school, called freshman week. That's what it is at USC. It's called welcome week. And also you'll meet people that you live with on your floor in your dorm. The people you live around and see every day are the people you're gonna get really close with. Also people in your classes, clubs, extracurriculars. Same way you made friends in high school, it's just a lot more people and options when you get to college. So it's probably a little bit easier to find a friend group that you're comfortable with when you get to college. Sometimes it's hard because some people you won't see a lot, so you might think you're going to be good friends, but your schedules just never line up, so you don't really see each other that often. But other than that, I think that everyone has a good chance of making a good group of friends. It's your girlie. Yeah, she said, how many volunteer hours would you say is preferred for a senior, and how many did you end up having? I don't know, like none. I didn't do anything senior year of high school. It just, like, if your high school requires volunteer, then volunteer and do the requirement, but it's not required for like college or anything, unless that's what you like to do and that's what you have on your college apps, but there's no like requirement. What are the most important things a senior should do to prepare for applying to college and for scholarships right now? You should get a copy of my book, You Got Into Where. It outlines everything you need for college admissions. It's only 15 bucks. It's on Amazon. It has copies of my admissions essays, supplements, all that good stuff, plus advice from students admitted to Ivies, really good schools. So you're getting like really personal advice. Showbiz Lade says, is the way you study in college different from high school? If yes, how so? Yes, because in high school you're taking 5 billion classes at once. You'll have 5 billion tests like every week. In college, you usually only have a few exams in a whole semester, so you're covering a lot more material, but you do have a lot more time to study and prepare. So for example, one of the classes I took last semester, all we had was a midterm and a final exam over the 15-week period, whereas in high school, a class, you'll have a test or quiz like every week, even multiple times a week. I remember having like maybe a couple like 2 quizzes in a week. So it's a lot better, I think, in college, because you're not like stressed out if one week you were busy and you didn't have a chance to go over the material. So you do have a little bit more time, but that's why time management is important. Joy Loves Candy says, what is the food like at your university? So at USC, we have the dining halls. So we have like 3 or 4 dining halls, and those are like you swipe to get in, and then it's like a buffet style. Then we have on campus restaurants, which use things called dining dollars, which is also on your student ID. And we have different things like Panda Express, California Pizza Kitchen, and USC is also getting the Village, which is a new like housing complex, and we're gonna have a lot more options to eat. So basically it's just regular food as far as the dining hall goes. Sometimes it's really bad, sometimes it's okay. You just deal with it, because after that you're not required to have a meal plan there. Zoe Celsi says, hey Joy, I have some questions for you in the college Q&A. Great. At USC, what is the process for choosing your roommate and accommodation? You go on the housing portal, and if you know someone you want to room with, then you type in their name and they type in your name, and then you're paired. Or if not, and you're doing random, you fill out a little survey about like how clean you are, like if you like music, blah blah blah, some random things, and then they find people who match you, and then you can choose your roommate from people who match you, or you can go completely random and just have them assign you. And secondly, do you recommend buying textbooks or renting them? And if so, for renting, what is the best place to rent them from? Definitely rent. Don't buy, like, you're just gonna regret it. Like, I bought some books, but they weren't textbooks. They were like novels that I was reading, and they're like really cheap to buy. But other than that, textbooks, I say rent. You can rent from your campus bookstore, you can rent from different websites online. I say just go look and compare everywhere, then choose the cheapest. Sometimes your campus bookstore will have like a return policy, so you have 30 days, so maybe the class is only using that book for 10 days, so you can go back and return the book. Just different things to like save you money, get some money back, you know. And she also says, love you, Joy. Love you too. Nazi Rold says, when did you start looking for scholarships, and how effective was the research for them? I started looking for college scholarships maybe junior year of high school, and you can watch my scholarship videos. They'll be linked somewhere up here. But I researched mainly for like university scholarships because I knew those were the largest. So like USC gave me the full tuition, but then there's also small ones, which I thought were harder to get, kind of, because I don't know why, just I didn't have that much luck with them. But some people are really really good with those local scholarships. But I do know techniques and things on how to get them, and there is a free 5-day scholarship email course that I have on yougotintowear.com, and it tells you about scholarships and stuff if you have more questions about that and how to get scholarships or where to look. So it's like a full like free course that you guys can go check out. All you have to do is like enter your email, and you'll get a new email every day in your inbox. I got you. I be looking out for y'all. Kamar Zittillery says, how do you make yourself feel like you belong at USC? USC is like, I feel like you don't try to fit in somewhere, you just make it yours. So you make your experience unique, and that's the great thing about USC is like no one is a cookie cutter. Everyone is very unique, doing their own thing. And when you're searching for a college, if that's what you want, make sure that's how it is. Some schools, everyone likes the same thing, everyone's into the same, like they're very not closed-minded, but everyone's kind of on the same pace. So if you want that, then look for a college like that. She also says, what is your advice to someone attending a large university? I say utilize it, utilize the resources, utilize the funds that they might have because of their alumni, utilize all of the events they have because they're a large university. Like, just take advantage and don't sit back, because someone else will take advantage while you're not. She also says, what is your advice on African American students attending a predominantly white institution? If you went to a predominantly white high school, then it's going to be no different. If you went to a black high school and you're going to a predominantly white institution, be prepared for like a little bit of culture shock, I'd say. I did a little bit of both, so I was pretty comfortable going to USC. I say find your community, and also don't only stay with black people or don't only stay with one type of people. Get to know different people, because in college you're going to be exposed to a whole bunch of different types of people from different places, different ethnicities, etc. She also says what factors play a major role in you making your schedule for the semester. Sleep, free time, and am I filling graduation requirements. I don't really care about the professor, honestly. You're gonna have good professors, you're gonna have bad professors. Like, by the time I get to who the professor is, I already have my schedule ready, and I'm not gonna switch it around just because of a professor, unless it's like something like tragic. But everyone has different tastes and like teaching styles, so I don't think that one student saying that they're a bad professor means that it's gonna be a bad professor for me. And I feel like a lot of people focus on the professor when I prioritize sleep, and I like to have days free or like half days free, so I do that first. She also says, are you double majoring or minoring in anything? Yeah, so I declared a Spanish minor at the end of last year, and I'm also thinking about adding another minor, but that is to be announced. But she says, what are your plans post-graduation? Live my best life, make money, get coin, do things, let my melanin flourish. That's as much as I can say as a sophomore, you know? Have you thought about grad school? If so, where? Nah, I'm just trying to think about the present. I'll get there eventually. Lady Summer says, when applying to colleges, is having more years than required help you become better organized? And I think I asked her what she meant by that. I think she meant like more years required, like if your school requires like 2 years of Spanish and you took 3. Yeah, I guess so. More the merrier. Nikki Say from Instagram says, hi Joy, this is a question for your video. How difficult would you say college classes are compared to high school classes, AP classes? I kind of explained that already, but high school can be hard, honestly. High school was stressful. College is stressful, but in a different way. Just the pace is different, I'd say, but the content is more challenging in college. And she's going to be at USC in the fall. Fight on. Yes, yes bae, yes boo. Like, if you're gonna be at USC in the fall and you see me on campus and you don't say hi, I'm gonna be very offended. Like, I want to be friends with all the freshmen who watch my videos. For sure. Paola Mariscal says, tips for starting essays. Just go to the video and watch the full video. No need to repeat myself. Jada May. I'm a sophomore in high school. Should I start looking at colleges now? If you got free time, you on the Instagram, maybe just look at a few college Instagrams, look at some websites. Start getting serious maybe junior year, summer before junior year, so you can figure out like if you want to visit some places and you'll have time to think that through. And what is a good way to figure out what I want to major in? What do you like? Are you a math person or a science person? English, history? Then once you figure that out, then kind of narrow it down. What kinds of clubs are you in school? What types of hobbies do you have? And find majors that align with those. And she says, congratulations on your internship at L. Thank you. 4AV0K says, do you ever think about transferring out of USC to another school? Never. Oh my god, I miss USC so much. I would never leave. I would never leave. Snover11 says, what did you do in college to build up your resume? In college, oh, what did I do in college to build up a resume? I just do my own thing. Well, I'm trying to get more involved, but freshman year I just did my YouTube stuff, my own business. I got involved with the National Association of Black Journalists. I'm an Annenberg ambassador. There's some other orgs I'm in, but some of those aren't even on my resume. Like, I just prioritize things I've done like that are really important to me on my resume, because everything doesn't fit. But as I get like leadership positions and stuff in those, I'll definitely check those out. Kristen17 says, how do you make a decision on a college after you've been accepted to a lot of them? Also, what do you do if you can't physically go tour colleges? So I say make a pro-con list. Obviously consider financial things. Scholarships are always a plus. Don't think about whether your friends are going or not, because that doesn't matter. Talk to your family, talk to people who go there, see what schools you're really interested in, and if you can't physically visit them, check out some YouTube videos on college tours. I have a college tour video series, which will also be up here, just like all my college video playlists will be up here. So you can watch those. It's not every school, but it is the schools I applied to at least. And then you can go to their websites, you can talk to people, you can try to find someone to pay for you to go. There's different things you can try to do. Peyton XOX242 says, what is your biggest advice for an incoming senior getting ready to immerse himself in the whole college phase? Take a deep breath, honey, and get ready, get excited, be excited about your education, and know that you will end up where you're supposed to be. Whether it's as your freshman year or you transfer or something, you will end up where you need to be. Mina428 says, is it okay to go to a communication and broadcast journalism major with little experience with it in high school? Nobody has experience in high school with what they're majoring in. How does a neuroscience major have experience in high school? Like, no. Just whatever you want to major in, girl. Choose whatever you like to do. Journalism is a little bit easier to be involved with in high school because you can be in the newspaper, you can be in yearbook, all that type of stuff, but it's not required for like any major. There might be courses for some majors, like you have to take a AP this, but it's never like you had to like be the editor of Teen Vogue by the time you were a junior in high school. No, honey. Well B says, is it hard being natural in college? No, it's easy, girl. All you do is whatever. If it rains, you good. Everybody, like, I don't know. The only thing is, like, sometimes you're just like don't want to do your hair, but that's everywhere. Like, it's no different than when you're at home. Like when you're in high school, you have more time in college than you do in high school. Like high school, you're in class from like 7 to like 3 or 4. College, you're just like in class in chunks. You have your weekends, your stuff. You're good. Stay natural. She also says, oh, this is my favorite question. She says, why are you such an overachiever? Like, where does your motivation come from? Was it your upbringing? Why are you that way? Like, word for word, like I have some type of disorder. Like, I'm offended. No, I'm not offended, but I like to do things. I don't like to feel like I haven't done anything. I like to help people. That's why I make my videos, because it helps you guys, and I don't want to disappoint you by not providing the highest quality information I can, whether that's a video, whether it's the email courses I was talking about, whether it's the You Got Into Wear website. Like, I knew I needed help and when I was applying, so I want to make sure you guys have help. Come from a family of business owners, people always hustling, never sitting back, so I'm gonna keep that ball rolling and try to be as successful as possible. But it's not even about like finding success, it's about like how I feel at the end of the day. Do I feel like I've done enough to help other people? Emily Reader says, how do you find a balance between work and still do fun things? Also, where to get your inspiration from? Your dedication is incredible. Thank you. Okay, so balance, I say keep a planner, figure out, try to calculate your like GPA and stuff throughout the semester, make sure you're not falling behind. Always make room for something fun to do. Take breaks while you're studying and stuff. And inspiration from my parents. They always are working hard, so I like to make them proud and do the same. Tori Anna says, hello, congrats on the internship with Elle. Thank you. My question with college admissions is, which admissions decision would you recommend for high school seniors? I don't know what that means. And which decision did you apply? Oh, like early decision, regular decision? I did regular decision and early action. I didn't do any early decisions. Just do what your gut feels like. Early decisions are kind of weird to me. Just early action, scholarship deadlines, stuff like that. Razian says, how do you pack for out-of-state college, and do you have any tips on how to do it effectively? Girl, just get your suitcases ready. Have something to weigh it with if you're flying. If you're driving, then you're good. Pack that car up, but honestly, don't pack it too much. Like, you're gonna buy a lot of stuff while you're in college, especially if you're in a city. Like, I did so much shopping throughout the year. Like, and also just plan like when you're gonna go home and if you need to take anything home, or if you can bring like your winter stuff back when it gets cold, stuff like that. Vingo Beyond says, how do you keep yourself motivated, or who motivates you? We answered that. 2, have you been challenged in your coursework? If you were, yeah. What would your advice be to students who commute and from school and they want to build strong relationships? Stay on campus, be on campus when there's events, don't go straight home after class. If there is one thing you could change about your college home, what would it be? Why? I'm pretty happy with USC. I think I'm slowly becoming a really good, like well-rounded person because of like my experience at USC so far. Lego Narnia says, I'm starting USC this fall. I was wondering, how do you become an Annenberg ambassador? There's an application in the fall for that, and then you do a few interviews. I don't know if we recruit every year. It just depends on how many seniors graduated. Mina428 says, thoughts on applying to different schools with different majors in an attempt to have a better chance of getting into the school. Just apply to majors you're interested in. Don't do like a bunch of random stuff. Shah Zaib says, USC or NYU? Moon26 says, how do you manage to balance your social life and academic life? Answer that. What are things you wish you knew before you started college? I have a video on that, so that's my college playlist. The Allen says, what was the first month of college like for you? Was it hard? Big change in workload? How did you take for you to get, how long did it take for you to get used to classes in college life? So I have a video on my first week of college so you can see how I reacted to that. But it was a lot. I was busy all the time, which was fun. I was meeting people. Beginning of the semester is usually like chill. Your first week of classes, you don't do anything. So Gal says, I'm a junior in high school, so wondering, how did you get a full ride to NYU? I don't know. Watch my NYU video, watch all my college videos. That's everything I did. I didn't like plot I'm getting a full ride to NYU, even though I wanted it. Like, I just stayed true to myself and what I like to do, and the scholarship opportunity was offered to me. Cree says, what did you bring to college that you really didn't need? I brought too many shoes, I think. Khalid says, how does scholarship, dorms, and housing work? Do you stay in the same dorm for 4 years, or do you switch every year? Okay, you don't stay in the same dorm every year. Usually there's dorms designated for freshmen, upperclassmen, there's off-campus housing, so you get to choose depending on whether your school guarantees housing on campus, like freshman, sophomore. It just depends on your school. Do you have to pay your meals, or is it part of your scholarship? And when do you take photos for your student ID? Meals, you usually have a meal plan which you have to pay for. When you take photos for your student ID, usually at orientation, or if you miss orientation, then when you get to school. Then we have our last question from Hello K24. How do you figure out balancing stress and getting super involved like you at USC? You don't, honey, you just do it. No, I like to do a lot, so if that's not you, then don't push yourself, honey. I just like to stay busy. It helps me manage my time better, actually. She's excited to be a Trojan, but she's afraid she won't be able to time manage. Like I said, keep a planner. Like, know when you can go out, know when you can study. You'll start to get the pace like after, like in your first semester. First semester you might take a couple L's, like get a couple lower grades than you usually do, but that's okay. Like, just breathe. So those were all the questions. I'm so excited we got through all of them. Thank you so much for sending your questions. I'm so excited to be launching my back to school series video content. So if you have requests, comment them below, and also thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Plus, you need to press that subscribe button if you are new to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you can know when I make a new video. You want those notifications on because this college back to school series is gonna be lit. We're gonna have giveaways, we're gonna have a nice conversations, more in depth about things you guys asked, and we're gonna figure out how to get rid of these background noises, but it's gonna be hard because, you know, I'm in New York right now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.